Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, RICANS. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth through the Spirit. And shalom to the mighty Akim and Akwaf out there who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. And today's topic is going to be entitled, Be Thou Faithful Unto Death, and I Will Give Thee a Crown of Life. Quoting the scripture I'm about to read to you now. So Revelation chapter 2 verse 10. Fear not of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay, so basically, we're going to have to receive or go through tribulations, regardless of how far that tribulation goes, even if it's to the point where you are killed or anything bad that could happen to you, that does happen to you. Stay faithful through it, and even in death, or if the Most High delivers you from that tribulation, you will receive a crown of life from the Most High YAHAWAH BaHashem YAHAWASHI. Alright? So, with that, I'm going to get into these precepts and stories about how our forefathers and our foremothers as well went through tribulation, and they stayed faithful unto death. Alright? They would rather have died than sin before the Most High. Alright? So now, firstly, Susanna in the book of Susanna, verse 8. And the two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed towards her. Okay, so now Susanna, for a little bit of context, she was married and she was a very beautiful Israelite woman. Alright, so clearly we see in verse 8, there was two men that saw her, thought she was beautiful, and had a desire for her. All right. Now, verse 9, and they perverted their own mind and turned away their eyes, that they might not look unto heaven, nor remember just judgments. Okay, that means that they turned a blind eye. They ignored the fact that they knew. They ignored the fact that they knew what they were doing was wrong, but they still just, oh, you know what? Forget it. I just want to do it. Like, I don't know if, you've had that sensation, like, like, say for example, if you're dieting or whatever, like you say, like, oh my God, I just want to have, this is my cheat day today. I'm just gonna eat that cupcake or whatever. Like, that's basically that, but magnified to more serious, not only a more serious thing, but a greater thing that is very evil, very wicked. All right. Now, verse 10. And albeit they both were wounded with her love, yet durst not one show another his grief, for they were ashamed to declare their lusts that they desired to have to do with her. Okay, so like they were ashamed. They knew, like I said, they knew what they were doing was wrong, but it wasn't to the point that they would just declare it, let the whole world knew. They just, it's just, that's one thing in their mind, like they know is wrong, but they still want to do it. All right. Verse 12, Slakia. Yet they watched diligently from day to day to see her. And the one said to the other, let us now go home, for it is dinner time. So when they were gone out, they parted the one from the other, and turning back again, they came to the same place. And after that, they had asked one another the cause. They acknowledged their lusts, and appointed they a time both together, when they might find her alone. So now they wickedly plotted to catch Susanna alone, so that they may commit their fornication with her. All right. Now, jumping down to verse 18, and they did as she verse 17. Then she said to her maids, "Bring me oil and washing balls, and shut the garden doors, that I may wash me." And they did as she bade, and shut the garden doors, and went out themselves at privy doors to fetch the things that she had commanded them. And they saw not the elders, because they were hid. Now when the maids were gone forth, the two elders rose up, and ran unto her, saying, "Behold, the garden doors are shut. The garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us, and lie with us. If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee." Then Susanna sighed and said, "I am straitened on every side. For if I do this thing, it is death unto me. And if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands." Okay, so now, see, so clearly the two elders plotted and had a well thought out plan or whatever to commit their wicked act. They're wise to do evil, all right? But even in this unescapable situation for Susanna, because it was two men's word against the one Susanna, Susanna examined the situation. So it was either I do this with you and commit fornication in front of the Most High, and the Most High is going to punish me, or I end up dying because they're going to put her to death because the two elders were going to claim that she committed fornication, and that's a sin worthy unto death. Okay, so now verse 23, "It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Most High." Okay, so she said it is better for her to die, basically, and not do it, than to sin willingly in front of the eyes of the Most High. Okay, so that's the mentality that we need to have. Like the worse, the bad position that we're in, it is nowhere near as bad as what the Most High could do should we choose to willingly sin for it. All right, and Susanna did very well in choosing that. Okay, so hopefully this goes to show like this is a good example for other brothers and sisters to see that even if we're losing people are losing their jobs because they don't want to do certain things or whatever, or we're missing out on vital necessities, we should just take that hardship, go through it and whatnot, because you do not want to fall into the hands of the wrath of the Most High. You don't want to fall into the wrath of the Most High. The wrath of the Most High is much worse than anything that Esau, Edom, or any devil or any evil could do to you. All right. And so basically, in the next verses, they basically say that Susanna cried out, the elders cried out. Then they basically said that they did what they said they were going to do. They lied on her and said that she slept with another man. All right. So now, jumping down to verse 32. And these wicked men commanded to uncover her face, for she was covered, that they might be filled with her beauty. Therefore her friends and all that saw her wept. Then the two elders stood up in the midst of the people and laid their hands upon her head. And she, weeping, looked up towards heaven, for her heart trusted in the Most High. And the elders said, "As we walked in the garden alone, this woman came in with two maids, Lakia, and shut the garden doors, and sent the maids away. Then a young man who there was hid came unto her and lay with her. Then we that stood in the corner of the garden, seeing this wickedness, ran unto them. And when we saw them together, the man we could not hold, for he was stronger than we, and opened the door and leapt out. So, obviously they're lying, okay? The lie that they said that they were going to lie about. Verse 40. But having taken this woman, we asked who the young man was, but she would not tell us. These things do we testify. Okay, so they bore false witness on Susanna. Verse 41. Then the assembly believed them as those that were the elders and judges of the people, so they condemned her to death. Then Susanna cried out with a loud voice and said, O everlasting Yahweh, thou that knowest, Slakia, O everlasting power that knowest the secrets and knowest all things before they be. Thou knowest that they have bore false witness against me, and behold, I must die. Whereas I never did such things as these men have maliciously invented against me. And the Lord heard her voice. Therefore, when she was led to be put to death, the Most High raised up the Holy Spirit of a young youth whose name was Daniel, who cried with a loud voice, I am clear from the blood of this woman. Then all the people turned them towards him and said, What mean these words that thou hast spoken? So he, standing in the midst of them, said, Are ye such fools, ye sons of Israel, that without examination or knowledge of the truth ye have condemned a daughter of Israel? Return again to the place of judgment, for they have bore false witness against her. Wherefore all the people turned again in haste, and the elders said unto him, Come and sit down among us, and show it, seeing Yahawah hath given thee the honor of an elder. Then said Daniel unto them, Put these two aside one far from another, and I will examine them. So when they were put asunder one from another, he called one of them, and said unto him, O thou that art waxen old in wickedness, now thy sins which thou hast committed aforetime are come to light. For thou hast pronounced false judgment, and hast condemned the innocent, and hast let the guilty go free. Albeit the Most High saith, The innocent and righteous shalt thou not slay. So Daniel is saying that Daniel is accusing them of lying and saying that they're trying to put an innocent person to death. Verse 54. Now if thou hast seen her, tell me, under what tree sawest thou them companying together? Who answered, Under a mastic tree? And Daniel said, Farewell, thou hast lied against thine own head. For even now the angel of Yahawah hath received the sentence of Yahawah to cut thee in two. So he put him aside and commanded to bring the other, and said unto him, O thou seed of Canaan, and not of Judah, beauty hath deceived thee, and lust hath perverted thine heart. Thus have ye dealt with the daughters of Israel, and they for fear companied with you, and companied with you, but the daughter of Judah would not abide your wickedness. Now therefore tell me, under what tree didst thou take them companying together? Who answered, Under a home tree? Okay, so now Daniel asked the first one, where did you find them? Was it under this type of tree? And the man, he asked, under what tree did you find them at? And then the one of the elders said it was under a mastic tree. Okay, and then whether that was false, as in there was no tree there like that to begin with, Daniel caught him in a lie. And in order to even further solidify that, he asked the second elder, and the second elder said another tree. So already they were together, yet their stories don't add up. So he is already proving them to be liars. Okay, because they don't, their stories didn't add up. he proved them to be liars. Okay. Slakia for the background noise and for me. But verse 59. Then said Daniel unto him, Well, thou hast also lied against thine own head, for the angel of Yahweh waiteth with the sword to cut thee in two, that he may destroy you. With that, all the assembly cried out with a loud voice, and praised Yahweh, who saved them that trust in him. And they arose against the two elders, for Daniel convicted them of false witness by their own mouth. And according to the law of Moses, they did unto them in such sort as they maliciously intended to do to their neighbor, and they put them to death. Thus the innocent blood was saved the same day. Okay, so at the end of the day, Daniel was able to prove Susanna's innocence and convict these two elders for lying. So instead of the innocent Susanna being killed, the two elders that had maliciously set her up are going to be killed instead. All right. So with that we see the lesson is, or the whole lesson was, have faith in the Most High. Don't partake in sin just because you think it's going to save you in the moment. All right. So with that, at the end of the day, even though she was so close to being killed unrighteously, the Most High saved her at the last minute. Okay. And regardless of if it's the last minute or not, the Most High still saved her. Okay. At the end of the day, she didn't have to be killed. Okay. She was spared. All right. So remember to have that mindset of don't partake in sin, and the Most High will look after you. The Most High will take care of you. All right. And another precept to that is First Maccabees chapter 61. Chapter 1. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 57. And whosoever was found with any book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. Okay, so an unrighteous decree is being made, where if anyone practiced the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, or if they had the book, the scriptures, they should be put to death. Okay. And verse 58. Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the city. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of Yahweh. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised, and they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing, wherefore the rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died, and there was a great wrath upon Israel. Okay, so now a lot of Israelites were put to death, but that's another aspect to a lesson that we need to have understanding in. We need to even let's say the Most High is not going to save us at the end of the tribulation. Okay, we still need to have that mindset. We need to be prepared to die for this truth, die for the Most High. Okay. Oh, when was it? Yeah. Oh, man. Slovakia. One moment. So Matthew chapter 16 verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. So whoever's willing to die for the Most High, or YAHAWASHI, for the Most High Yahweh, YAHAWASHI, you're going to find it. Okay, so we have to be all the way in, all in. Okay, put all your chips, put all your eggs in the basket of the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, that's what these brothers, these not brothers and sisters, but well, yes, brothers and sisters, but our ancestors did during the time of the Maccabees. Okay, they were willing to die for the Most High. Okay, and there's the reward in heaven for doing all that. Okay, but they literally said we would rather die than eat pork. Basically, that's literally what happened. They said we would rather die than eat pork, shrimp, and any of the unclean meats, or do anything that's against the law. And women still circumcise their children, okay? Because they all wanted to keep the law. They all wanted to please the Most High. They didn't care that a decree was in effect that they knew of. They knew all about all that stuff. That they knew that they were going to be killed for keeping the law, but they still did it anyway. They still kept the law anyway because they loved the Most High over their fear of man. All right. Okay, so with that, in death or in life, because we don't know if the Most High is going to allow us to die or if the Most High is going to spare us. We don't know if the Most High is going to allow us to die or if He's going to spare us. So we need to be in the mindset of we're ready to die for the Most High. That's the mindset we have to have. So all the way to death. Expect death, basically. All right. Yes, it's good that you can have faith that the Most High will save you, but at the end of the day, it's the choice of the Most High to choose whether He wants to save you as an individual or let you die as a martyr. All right. So, but either way, it's still, if you died for the Most High, there's still the reward for it. All right. Continuing on. What is this one? Slakia. Alright, so perfect. This is a perfect precept. Luke chapter 12, verse 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? Verse 21, so is he that laid up treasure for himself and is not rich towards Yahweh. Okay, so look, see this. Or I'll paint a scenario, okay? So, okay. you are being told, eat this pork or we're going to kill you. Okay? So let's say you choose to eat the pork. Okay? So they don't kill you. Those people, the Edomites, let's say, they don't kill you. Okay? At that moment, they allow you to go free. You manage to make it home. Okay? But as soon as you get home, someone else, someone completely unrelated to them, a heathen or a wicked Israelite or whatever, just is waiting at your home and just kills you and takes all your stuff or whatever, or robs your house dry. All right? So that's basically the parallel to this parable. Okay? You thought to, okay, I'm going to preserve my life on my own, okay, by partaking in sin. But at the end of the day, the Most High just like, okay, well, because you decided to live or think that you could live on your thing, on your own terms, then I'm just going to take your life right after they spared you, okay? Or even better, you died in a car accident driving on your way home. So you don't even get to get home. You just die in a car accident. All right. So that's literally how easy the Most High can just take your life from you. Okay. And that's easy. That's how easily you can die, not being in the care of the Most High, YAHAWAH. All right. And that's like it says in verse 21, laying up treasures for yourself in carnally and in Esau's kingdom, and not laying up treasures or being rich or building up your spiritual salary with the Most High. All right. So that's basically what we want to avoid. Okay, build up your spiritual bank account with the Most High. Be favored with the Most High by having faith in Him, asking for more faith, praying for more faith, fasting, keeping the law, statutes, commandments. All right, building yourself up spiritually. That's how you want to be seen with the Most High. Okay, and the last precept I'm gonna go in is 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Ooh, this is a good one. Verse 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. Okay, so now this is an Israelite brethren, an elder. Okay, because it said an aged man. They were basically telling him, because this is actually during time. It takes part in time with the precept that I brought up in Maccabees chapter 1. Okay, but this is basically going into more details and specific examples. Okay, so Eleazar was being told, hey, you have to eat swine's flesh or you're gonna die. Okay, so verse 19, but he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment. Okay, so right there, like that. This, honestly, I tell you, when I first read this, I had a lot of respect. I had a lot of respect for him. Like that is, he jumped towards. He went to the torment. Like, how many of us can actually say, what, okay, how many of us can actually say, fuck eating pig, you're gonna have to torture me, you're gonna have to kill me, or like when they're actually in front of you and they actually have the power to do that and you have no power to defend yourself. Okay, how many of us can actually say that? All right, that's what you need to have. That's what you need to be able to actually do. All right. Verse 20, and as it behooved them to come, they are resolute to stand out against such things, as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted. But they that had the charge of that wicked feast, for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. So basically what it's saying is that he could have deceived them and said, oh, this is swine's flesh, but it was actually either beef, chicken, or something that was actually lawful to eat, okay, or lamb. Basically he could have deceived them, and he could have shown that he ate something that was unlawful, but it was actually lawful, so that he wouldn't be breaking the law. Okay, that's basically what he could have done. But continuing on, verse 22, that in doing so he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereon was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by Yahweh. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightways to send him to the grave. Okay, so now you're probably thinking like, wait, didn't he just say he could eat lawful food and get away with it? And then now he's saying, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna reconsider. Send me to the grave. I'm not gonna do it. And now you're wondering like, why is he doing this? Why is he saying that? Okay, now let's move on to verse 24. And becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to disassemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, were now gone to a strange religion. Okay, he didn't want the young people, he didn't want his people to think, oh, Eleazar, he's a sellout, or oh, Eleazar, he cares more about his life than the Most High YAHAWASHI. That's what they would have thought. Okay, because I highly doubt he would have had the time or opportunity to say, oh, this is what you guys can do, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so now we see that. Okay, he chose, I'm gonna die, and I'm gonna be an example for my other brothers and sisters that are in the exact same position as me. I'm gonna die I'm gonna let them kill me rather than try to deceive them or deceive my people to letting them think that I'm a sellout. Okay, I'd rather die than be a sellout. I'd rather die than sin before the Most High. All right, now that's a very powerful decision that he made, and a very admirable one, beyond admirable, okay, respectable one, and something that we should learn from example. Verse 25, and so they through hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to mine old age and make it abominable. So yeah, and this goes in, it would have been hypocritical for him to not break the law, but show that, okay, it's okay to break the law to the younger people or his brothers and sisters, thinking that, oh, it's okay to do that, when it wasn't okay. And that's why he deceived them. All right. And honestly, if he did go through with that, he wouldn't have sinned, but he would have gotten other people to sin. Okay. And then, at the end of the day, it would have been worse for him. Okay. And in addition to that, it's saying in verse 25, it's saying a desire to live a little time and a moment longer. Okay, just like I brought out in Luke chapter 12 verse 16, the parable about how the man literally died right after building his storehouse and storing up all his food. Okay, so you would just be living a little bit longer for what? For not for the Most High. All right, we see that in verse 26. Verse 26 in 2 Maccabees chapter 6. For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. So whether he be dead or alive, he wasn't going to escape the punishment of the Most High for doing that and leading his other brothers and sisters into sin. Okay, making them think that, oh, it's okay to sin because look at me, I did it. I did it to live. All right, so he couldn't have set that bad example. As I said before, verse 27. Wherefore now, manfully changing this life, I will show myself such an one as mine age requireth. Okay, like I said, he's showing himself as an example required of someone his age. All right, and verse 28. And leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment. Okay, so immediately after he let them know, hey, I'm not bitch made. You know, I stand for the Most High. I love the Most High over everything. And then he went, and then after saying all that, he went to his torment, and then he went to his grave. All right, that's very beautiful. I pray in our time of trouble, I pray I can be personally be as brave and loving to the Most High as he was. A very powerful gesture to do for the Most High. All right, he didn't care about his life. Fuck his life. That's basically what he was saying. Fuck my life. I please the Most High. All right, we all need to have that mindset. All right, verse 29. They that led him, changing the good, will they bear him a little before into hatred, because the aforesaid speeches proceeded, as they thought, from a desperate mind. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, It is manifest unto the Most High, that hath the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in bodies by being beaten. But in soul am well content to suffer these things, because I fear him. He fears the Most High YAHAWASHI. And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation. Okay, so I hope all of Israel sees this, and all of Israel is going to not only remember this during our time of trouble, but act the same way during our time of trouble. We should all be like Eleazar and be prepared to die. Forget our life, abandon our lives. Okay, as it says in Matthew chapter 16 verse 25, whoever shall save his life shall lose it. If you're going to aim to save your own life, you're going to lose it. But if you if you're going to lose your life for the Most High YAHAWAH's sake, you're going to find it. Okay, and with that, I hope this lesson was edifying and a faith booster. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Ba'Hashem, Yahawashi, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who taught us truth through the Spirit. And with that, I want to say Shalom. I said double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone who taught us this truth through the Spirit. And with that, I want to say Shalom.